100 years old, and why making comparisons between you and your peers can kill you. You will learn that as much as the traditional medical system can save lives, it can also be a hotbed of lethal threats. Recognizing that it offers 10% of what you need to feel healthy, we provide evidence about whether, how, and when to use it, while showing you how to get the best possible results and avoid being harmed. We will peek behind many curtains and give you access to places that are traditionally reserved for insiders. To start, we want to bring you into an exclusive room where world leaders once gathered, unaware that they were playing a part in a greater story. Chapter 1. We Got It All Wrong. Do you know anyone who has never been to the doctor? Not even as a child? How many of the people in your life have back pain, depression, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer? The answers to these questions illustrate a problematic situation. It is practically impossible to live a life free of illness or disease. At first glance, it seems like there is no escape. If absence of disease is a prerequisite for being healthy, then we're set up to fail. Regardless of what we do, how much we exercise or meditate, or how well we sleep or eat, it is impossible to have a disease-free life. If the absence of disease is the cornerstone of what qualifies as health, then we are stuck with an impossible mission. A long and healthy life is completely out of reach for every single person on the planet. Indeed, this was the case up until 2008. The shakeup. The temptation was irresistible. Hundreds of the most prominent leaders from the healthcare sector, including dozens of ministers of health, ministers of finance, ambassadors, and investors from across the planet, were assembled in a magnificent Eastern European concert hall that had been turned into an elegant conference venue for a meeting held in June 2008. The agenda, which was specifically focused on the impact of health systems on people's health, had just been interrupted to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the World Health Organization, WHO. A microphone was being used by participants to express their appreciation of and gratitude for the first institution to garner the support of all members of the United Nations. The WHO was established following World War II as a way to showcase, naively, how generous and caring humans could be toward one another. As Alex approached the microphone, he could remember how disturbed he had felt a few months earlier by a question he had been asking himself persistently. It had come to him while he was recovering from an awful medical test that had finally ruled out a diagnosis of colon cancer. This was the same question he was about to ask the entire room. It was perhaps the one for which he should have had an answer, especially given that he had been either a student, physician, or professor at some of the top medical schools in the world during the past 30 years. When he reached the microphone, he looked at the audience, paused, and asked, "What is health?" The audience's surprise quickly turned into a nervous murmuring. The moderator was clearly unsettled by the change in the mood. Seizing the opportunity and using an even more emphatic tone, Alex then asked, "What do we mean by health?" The room went quiet. He waited in silence. After a few more seconds, someone stood up and said something like, "Dr. Haddad, the definition of health appears at the beginning of the Constitution of the very institution whose 60th birthday we are celebrating today." The man then proceeded to recite the statement that Alex had learned as a very young medical student and that had remained unchanged for 6 decades. Health is a state of complete